Okay, welcome back. So we have seen within conditionals the if statement. We saw if statement with blocks, then we saw the if and else, and then we saw the if else. So we have got a lot of the conditional stuff out, so we can make a lot of good decisions in our program and do different things, right? I want to do one couple of more things, last two things, and then we are done with conditionals and we can move on to something else. So talking about two things, nesting and combining conditions. Now let us always go with some examples. So I have my activity suggester, right? Go back here. Now this activity suggester suggests you to go out to cycle without asking you if you own a cycle, right? Similarly, if it's asking you to play cricket without knowing if you have any equipment at all for it, right? So it's not very smart. So let's remedy at least one of these issues. Let's go and say I want to ask another question, right? So apart from asking whether it's good, I want to check, let's say have cycle, to check whether you have cycle, right? Input, do you have a cycle? Answer again yes or no, and then space, it makes it readable. So now I know the weather is good, and only if the weather is good you are going to talk about cycling. So I don't need to check it anywhere here, I have to check something here, right? So I don't want to tell you to go to a cycle ride if you don't have a cycle, right? So if the weather is good, we want to check if the user has a cycle before he suggests it, right? So I want to check here, if have cycle upper equal to yes again, I better not put small s here, right? Because I have made it upper, so the other side will all be capital. So I should compare against capitals. Then I will do print this one can go inside. So I'm going to suggest to go for a cycle ride if you have a cycle. If you don't have, I want to suggest it. Let's go run this. So is the weather good outside? Yes. You have a cycle. I say yes. So go out for a cycle ride. But if the weather is good, I don't have a cycle, then play cricket with your friends and walk in the park. So that is much smarter, right? You are not, you are asking for the right question from the user and then giving the right suggestion, right? So this case, there is, if you look at this code, there's an if and there's a if inside that, right? So that is nesting of conditions. So there's a condition outside and then there is a inner condition. So nesting of conditions, right? If within an if. Now maybe I want to suggest if the user does not have a cycle, then maybe I'll suggest him to walk in a park. Otherwise, we can take a cycle ride, right? So what I'm going to do now is else, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to cut it here, and then okay, I need to get the indents right? If I keep this indent, let's say for sake of an example, I'm going to do this, then I try to run this, it's not yet there, I want to say no. Oh, yeah, that worked because it's still in that block. Within that block, if you try to do different indentation, then we have a problem, right? So we do this and then and go walk, something like that. There you go. See the indentation. So ensure that within the block everything is in the same indent. I don't need this to go walk. So this works. So now I have an if and an else within an if. So nested, this is two-level nesting, but with if and else both, right? So there is a if else outside, there is an if else inside. So this is like block 1 that level and block 2, 3, this is 2 again, another 4, and then this is 2 again, and then this is 3, and this is 4. So sorry, this is 2, 3, 4 is done, so this is 5 and this is 6. So there are a lot of blocks here. So now I'm able to suggest better, right? So let me just show you that. So this is good, yes. Cycle, no. So walk in the park. If you have, whether is good, and if you have a cycle, then go for a cycle ride. Don't walk in the park. Obviously, you can cycle out. So this level of nesting is okay. You can manage this, right? But and you can actually, Python will allow you to go infinite level of nesting. You can keep on nesting yourself more and more, right? So this is just 2 levels. You can go 3, 5, 7, 10, how many ever. But once you do that, once you get a lot of nesting, then it becomes more complicated, right? It's difficult to understand for you. Python will understand it, but when you have to make a change, then you have to understand, okay, if this condition and this, then this condition works, oh, then this works, or this condition, and this condition, and that condition. So it just becomes much more complicated to look at the code, understand it, and manage to change it. So keep in mind, nesting is okay, but to a small extent. This is called cyclomatic complexity. I'm just going to cyclomatic complexity. It just means how many decision points are there in your code. So as you increase your nesting, you are increasing your decision points, and that makes it more complex to change and understand for other developers, right? So, and yourself also in a few days. So keep that in mind when you do nesting. We will, I think now we will want to do a last trick, right? So let me go to the age commenter, and for the sake of it, I'm just going to change the order of this. I'm going to say, pick this out, and I'm going to put it here, right after vibrant youth. Let's see what happens. I'm not looking at that. So now, for a change, let's go with Frodo, and he has an age 11. Obviously, super teen. Frodo is not a teen, right? He's 11 years old. So something wrong happened here. So if you look at our code, this order matters unless this age. So if you look at it, will check this age less than 0. Of course, it's not less than 0, but it will next check this condition, and 11 is less than 20, right? So it's done. It's already satisfying this condition, and therefore it's super teen. Earlier, I used to have this VisualQuido before, and that condition would have got satisfied. 11 is less than or equal to 12, and that would have printed this, and it would have gone out. But now, because I changed the order, everything went for a toss. Now, this might be okay. Sometimes that you can write code where the order of these conditions matter, but most times you want these conditions to be independent of each other so that you have lesser buggy code. Somebody will come and change the order, they think it's more understandable, and then everything breaks loose, right? Like just what happened. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to make it more tight, right? More clean, very precise code. So teenagers are, so let us go and see this. A teen is somebody whose age is more than 12 and less than 20. So his age is greater than 12 and age less than 20. And is a keyword in Python, which exactly means and, as you said, as I just talked in English, right? This is the beauty of Python, right? You just said in English that a teenager is of age greater than 12 and age less than 20. That's exactly what this says. If age greater than 12 and age less than 20, then super teen. Great. I can do the same thing for this also, age greater than 19 and age less than 30. Cool, right? Now for a kid, I can say age greater than 0 because greater than or equal to 0, because even bond 0 is new bond and still a Kido, right? So that's okay. And these can be as is. Now, if you go and do the same thing, let's try Frodo 11 is a Kido. Got that right? Now, if you can, it will work perfectly. Sam is 16, super teen. Let's try Legolas. Hopefully you like these guys. And then last but not the least, Aragorn. He's an old guy, right? So we can, it's probably much older than this, but we'll go with this. So oldie moldy. So this and allowed us to combine two conditions, right? Two expressions. This is one expression, right? And this is one expression, and this is another one. So here, if and works if this and this is true, right? Both have to be true, and then it makes this condition true. If you look at this case, when I did Frodo 11, this condition got failed, so it didn't go inside here. And then this condition got failed, didn't go inside here too, right? Now, and then this got true. But when you gave Sam, this condition was true. Great. And this condition was also true, and therefore super teen. Same way, when I tried Legolas, this condition was true, but this was not true. Age was not less than 20. So you went to the next one, and this is true, and this also is true. So this printed vibrant youth. So and allows us to combine conditions where both of these conditions have to be true, right? If either of them are false, then the entire statement or this entire thing is a false, and it will skip it up, skip over and go to the next one. There's one more such combiner, and that's just an OR, right? Instead of and, you can do an OR. Here it doesn't make sense, but what it means is that this or this is true, then this is true, right? I'm not going to show you an example for that. You are going to try it out, and you are going to tell me how that works. That is all. Conditionals are done, right? So let us go on the next video, and I have one more topic for these set of videos, and then you will be done. Catch you soon.